Well, hello there, Pokemon and trading card fans. My name is Alan. This is Fliphouse Finds, and Fliphouse Finds is not only the name of the channel, it's also the name of my business that I started back in January of 2025, where I sell Pokemon and trading cards on TCGplayer.com and eBay. I would say 99% of the things I've sold have all been Pokemon related, but then on eBay, I do have a few sports cards that are still kind of lingering there. I want to remind you before I get into the video and we talk about this hype hypothesis that I've come up with, that these cards are still up for grabs. And so if you go down in my channel down below, if there's still a link underneath this video in the description for the giveaway, it's still active. I'm going to go and edit all those out of all my last few videos once the giveaway is there. But once we hit 250 subscribers, I'm going to do two drawings. One is going to be for this raw Hisuian Zoroark V-Star that was the card that started my whole hobby journey with Pokemon and selling trading cards. And then the second drawing, the winner can choose one of these two Gem Mint 10 slabs here. They're both worth around $60 right now. And so I don't want you to miss out. So go down below into my channel, click on the video that talks about storage hacks and giveaway, and watch that video. Leave a subscribe, leave a comment in the comments of that video, and you'll be entered in to win. And it looks like right now, at the moment of recording this video, I have 224 subscribers. So if you're one of those subscribers, thank you so much for believing in what we're doing here on the channel. I hope that you'll stick around for more than just the giveaway, but I'm excited about continuing to create content. I've got lots of thoughts and lots of ideas, and so thank you so much for being a part of this. But let's get into the content today. This whole idea came up in a conversation I was having with a friend the other day. And what I typically do when I have an idea for a video is that I will email myself just a very quick bullet point of like, hey, here's how I think the video would go. And then I transfer that to a Post-it note. And there's a Post-it note right here underneath my camera that kind of has just literally a single Post-it note with a few bullet points on it. Because I really believe that when you're creating content that you believe in, when you're creating content that you just know because you've lived it, you can just tell stories that you don't have to over analyze or just overly build the content. You don't need ChatGPT to do that. You're just like, hey, I'm just going to tell you a story. And so we're going to start with that today. Before I kind of give you what my hype hypothesis is as it comes to trading cards, in particular Pokemon cards, I want to tell you a story. And so there is a local game shop. In fact, if you go back a video or two, I show a brief me walking into the shop, dropping off some cards to be submitted to PSA. And they are one of the leading, most well-respected card shops in the Midwest. And they're about a 20-minute drive from my home. And great shop, great community. But one of the things that they do that I think is a unique position for them in the market is that they've been doing trading cards. It's a set of brothers that own the shop for gosh, I want to say 15 plus years. And so they've built up the credibility with their suppliers so they can, when new sets are released, they actually get a good allocation of cards for Pokemon in particular. And so what they do the day of a release of a new set, and literally as I'm recording this, we're just a couple of days away from the release of the Mega Evolution set. What they do is they will put on their Facebook page how many booster boxes they have, how many ETBs they have, how many booster bundles they have, how many blister packs they have, how many special box, whatever it is. And so when you do the math on that, you can kind of see where you need to be in line to be able to get the thing that you're after. And for me, I've always been after the ETB. I love the artwork, and so that's been my thing. And I say that I've been in the hobby for almost 9 months, so I don't have a long track record like probably many of you. So back in, I think it was March or April, whenever Journey Together came out, I got there like at 4:30 in the morning, and I knew that they had like 80 booster boxes, 50 or 60 ETBs, 50 or 60 booster bundles, and then like 50 or more blister packs, right? That I think had 3 packs in them and the coin and some of that kind of stuff. So I knew if I wanted an ETB, all I had to do was be in like that first, I don't know, 130, 140 people, right? And so it's near like I said, about a 20-minute drive. It's not too far. And so I got up there about 4:30 that morning, and it was still cold out. I live in Minnesota. Took some coffee with me, took a lawn chair, and sat there. And that's when I first met my friend Nathan that I mentioned in a few videos already, and struck up a conversation. He had just moved here from Oregon, and we've become friends. And I've sold cards to him, and he sold some of his cards to me. And so, but it just all happened from the community sitting in line and waiting. But when I got there at 4:30, I was really close to the front of the line. I was within the first. I was probably like, I think I was positioned like 60 or so. And so it was shocking when I walked into the store and the man, the owners were there. They had everything in a nice, well organized. The line was, gosh, it almost wrapped around the building. It was insane the number of people that were there. I think at one point I counted like 160, 170 people that were in line. And I asked for an ETB, and they're like, "Oh, you're like the second person that's asked for an ETB when in line you could actually get a booster box." Well, I liked the artwork. I was going to keep it sealed, and so that's what I went for. And so when Destined Rivals got announced to be released, I thought, I'm going to get there about the same time. And they actually had a similar allocation. I'm going to get there about the same time, about 4:30 in the morning. And the shop opened at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. So I knew I'd have to be in line for 5.5 hours or so. When I went there this time for Destined Rivals, I was in like position, I don't know, 150 or so. The hype was insane. Like there were people that had been camping out there overnight, and certainly that happened the first time, but it was like one or two people for Journey Together. But for this one, apparently there was dozens of people that had been there throughout the evening, and it was milder weather outside, so maybe that had something to do with it. I'm not sure. And then when the black bolt and white flare boxes came out, I decided that I didn't want to tie up any more of my capital for my business in sealed packs at that moment. So my friend Nathan was there, and he messaged me like at 8 or 9 in the morning, just a couple of hours before open. And he said there was no line hardly. He was like 35th in line, and there may be 20 people after him. So anecdotally, with those 3 releases, it's amazing to see like how the hype goes up and down. And because I'm relatively new to the hobby, maybe from a nostalgia perspective, there's some of you that are just like, oh, I knew Destined Rivals was going to be hype because it was like the second set released, 29 years ago, and the Team Rocket stuff and all that. So you knew that. Maybe you had a pulse on it. I'm still learning, but just anecdotally in these last 3 releases, it's been a roller coaster. Like as far as if I'm using that particular game shop, their release. Oh, and I didn't even mention, when they release them, they sell them at MSRP. And so, I'm paying $55, $56 after taxes, I think, for ETBs. And so that's another reason that people drive from all over the Midwest to come to that shop, because they're so customer friendly that after that first day release, then they'll try to match market prices. And so if you go back and watch that video where I was in the shop, you'll see a bunch of ETBs, and those are certainly at market price. And I don't blame them. That's what they can do. They're not going to offer MSRP forever. They'd be losing money. But when that initial release happens, they do a great job of taking care of their customers. So for me, I asked the question, well, why was one of those sets so ridiculously popular, and why were a couple of the sets less popular? And I know that when people talk about the artwork, the full arts, all those things, it's subjective what people find to be beautiful or cool, or maybe there's a particular Pokemon that hasn't been released on a card in a while, or a particular trainer, or a particular artist that people are really hyped up about. But hype is going to be wherever it's going to be. And so I'm still learning, but one of the things that I don't ever want to be on this channel, and even when I was creating the thumbnail for this video, I don't want it to be clickbait. I don't want it to be something where, if you want that, there are hundreds, if not thousands of YouTube channels where people are going to say something crazy in their thumbnail just to get you to click on it, to click through to watch their video. And honestly, it works. When you look at the videos, if you look at someone's channel, those ones that are super clickbaity, they're going to get more views. They're going to get more clicks. I just don't want to be that. Like, I just want to be level-headed, common sense, learning. I'm almost 50 years old. And at almost 50 years old, if there's one thing I've learned is that whether it's politics or finances or the stock market or investments or hobbies, they come and they go. The pendulum swings back and it swings forward. And you know, how can you not be susceptible to buying into the hype and in the long run losing money? But even with that being said, collectors, if you're a collector and you're not a reseller and you're watching this and you just love to collect and you are all about the hype and you are all about the community, and I love this community, the people that I've met, the comments down in my videos so far, I'm loving this community. It is one of my favorite things about reselling Pokemon are the people I'm meeting, the conversations I get to have. And even as kids come and I see kids out in public, if they have a Pokemon shirt on, being able to relate to them and connect with them, it's so, so freaking cool. So if you're a collector, collect. If you're a reseller, I would say do all you can to avoid the hype, not in a way that you don't enjoy the hype and you don't enjoy the energy that comes with selling Pokemon cards. I mean, don't avoid it to the point where you're not tapped into it a little bit. But when it comes to reselling cards, certainly you don't want to, the day or the week or two after a brand new set launches, that's when the hype is at its fever pitch. That's when everyone's wanting to master set it, everyone's wanting the cards. And so when I look at what my hypothesis is, what is my hype hypothesis? Why do I think some things are hyped and other things aren't? I don't know. Frankly, I don't know. I mean, if you want to leave me a comment down below and say, this was my favorite set and here's why. This is why I think the sets you mentioned, Alan, Journey Together, Destined Rivals, White Flare, Black Bolt, this is why I believe that one was more popular than the other. And again, my story is anecdotal. It's just me engaging with the community there at that game shop. But when I was there dropping off my cards for PSA the other day, the owner, I think it was Eric, great guy. And he's like, hey, what time are you getting in line this time? Because I've built a relationship with him. I said, I'm really not wanting to tie up my money in sealed product. He said, man, with all the buzz as people are coming in asking questions, he said, I feel like this one's going to be super popular. And honestly, I trust his opinion as a shop owner, brick and mortar shop owner with people coming in and out, and they have a Pokemon League there. I trust him that and he's not someone that I think he's similar to me. He's actually probably a little bit older than me. Not much. Maybe we're about the same age in our 40s, late 40s. I'll be 50 next year. And so I trust that he's not trying to hype up the set to get more people in line, because his allocation is his allocation. And every time a new set comes out, they're going to sell out of that set on day one until they get their next shipment. And so he certainly doesn't benefit anything other than just doing a solid for me, going like, hey, if you want something, you may want to get here a little bit sooner. So my hype hypothesis is Pokemon has been here for 30 years. This next year will be 30 years since Pokemon was released. And it has had a steady popularity across the world for 30 years. And so the hype will come, the hype will go. There'll be this obvious hype getting close to a release, kind of lulls out. Hype getting closer to release and then lulls down a little bit. And then some of the sets, there's a particular, like on this artwork, the Team Rocket for the Destined Rivals, you have, Mewtwo, right? That's who that is. And so maybe cards, when this set is released, because of this artwork, because of what the central chase cards are in the set, maybe in another set that has similar artwork with the same characters on it, maybe all of a sudden singles in that set that have those people on the cards might go up in value. But in the long run, I would say that the Pokemon card hobby is super healthy and super popular and will remain that way. So my hypothesis is that it will continue to stay that way, and that there will be this hype and lull cycle. But the lulls don't go as low as they used to, I think. And certainly there may be a time coming where if they ever start printing more cards, where the value and some of the hype may be a little bit different. But for the long run, I'm here for it. Like, I just enjoy the community. I enjoy being around the people that enjoy the cards. And as resellers, if you're watching this and you're a reseller, we can leverage that hype, not in a way where as leeches, where we're going to come in and we're going to scalp and we're going to grab and we're going to take advantage of people because of the hype, but just being aware of it. And how do we protect ourselves as we're reselling cards and we're buying cards, so that we can get a good value, and then we can give a good value to our customers that we sell the cards to. And if you're someone that likes to buy singles and and think about where they're going to be in the future and what's their value going to be, you can do that too. There's room for all of us in the hobby, no matter how we collect, whether it's sealed slabs, whether it's singles, whatever that is. You do you. The hype is here to stay, is my hypothesis. And as long as we're aware of it, we embrace it, we enjoy it. I think it brings the community together, standing in line with a bunch of strangers that are there for the same Pokemon cards and the same shiny cardboard. It's such a joy. So much fun. So if that's you, man, keep up the hype. Keep it going. Be aware of it if you're a reseller. Be careful when you buy cards around release time. But let's just all enjoy the hobby. The hype is here to stay. And so thanks for joining me for this video. I was going to say join me for a rant. It wasn't a rant. I think the hype is here to stay. And I think that it lifts, that rising tide will lift all of our boats, no matter which angle we're coming at the hobby from. And I'm excited to be here. So if you're here today, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. My name is Alan. This is Flip House Finds, and I'll see you in the next video.